morning.
Good morning.
It's Stitch Along Friday with
It is.
Lisa and Thea.
Yes.
Well, you're Lisa and I'm Thea.
Yes. That's right.
Welcome. We hope that you have had a good week in the past and that things are going well for you.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're, doing pretty well here on our dashboard.
Yeah.
We can see everything.
We can see everything. No one's joining in quite yet.
No,
but that's
because
okay.
they're very slow.
Maybe we were early. Oh, we've got one viewer anyway.
Yeah, that's good. It's all good. But this morning we both woke up feeling really relieved for some reason.
Yeah. Almost energized, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
Because there was fog and it was cool and we had
Cloudy.
clouds and
It's like autumn. Autumn is coming. Yay!
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to autumn with all of the autumny things.
Yes.
And I know we're still going to have quite a few days actually, of sunshine right into September usually. But it was nice to see and feel the coolness in the air. And then we're going to start complaining probably in autumn. It's so cold out. You can't do anything.
When it starts raining too much. But we'll remember the wildfires that are happening throughout BC right now.
Yeah, we're hoping those go away right away.
Absolutely.
So that will also help a great deal when we have less heat. Loretta's here. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Kathleen. Good morning. Hola, Marley.
Good to see you, Marley. Yeah. And Donna from Hazy, Berkeley. Yeah, I bet there is still smoke in the air. I think all along the western coast we have these fire issues, and it's not just here; it's all through the rest of the North America too.
Yeah,
I remember going to Perth one time to teach, and it was so lovely. All of the trip was great. I landed in Auckland, and then the next day, after I slept overnight there, I took the plane all the way to the west coast of Africa, of Australia. So that was another, I think, 4,000 miles or something, or kilometers, I've forgotten. Anyway, it was a long time. And all the way over Australia, there were fires. And I thought, I wonder if there's people camping down there. Not thinking.
The grass fires.
Yes. Yeah. And so I thought, that would be, and when I found out, I thought, that wouldn't be easy. But now we're having the similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sandy Rubitsky's here.
Good
Hello.
morning, Sandy.
Jennifer Gowan. Yes, we tried.
Thank you. Actually, no, we didn't try at all. It just, sometimes
I did. No, I did.
Oh, you saw me come in?
No, I didn't see you come in. But what happened was I stood in front of the closet, and I thought, I wonder what Lisa's going to wear today. Seriously, I did. And I thought,
it's a pink day.
I think it's a pink day. I think we're feeling in the pink. Anyway, so I did try.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Reading your
Actually,
mind.
I looked at my closet too going, okay, and I looked at the turquoise and it's like, nope, it's a pink day.
Anyway, it's good. Thank you for noticing. Yeah. You're so cute, Jennifer. I wonder if you coordinate with us. Do you? Because you're always very nice about the way we appear. And so it would be nice to know. Are you wearing pink right now?
That's right. Exactly.
Maybe pink fuzzy slippers or something?
Yeah. Oh, that sounds comforting.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Or a house coat.
Dorothy Wendell is glad to be here.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Tricia, good morning. And she's also in Victoria. So she's also feeling the autumn nip in the air. Tammy Thompson is shopping. This is like
before school.
How do you stop? How do you always be shopping on Friday morning?
Yeah.
Like, is this the day you go shopping, Tammy? We'd sort of like to know now.
For Tammy though, it's in the afternoon.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah. So.
I keep thinking of you as also in the morning, but you're not.
No.
So 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30 probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nevertheless, you are still shopping on a Friday.
Friday's probably her shopping day.
It must be. Anyway, it's nice to hear that she's just about to go to school, and we'll cross our fingers that she goes back without any issues. Diane Mergesdorf is here from Hazy, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Vicki Fisher, hello. Nice sunny weather, but with humidity. Well, at least you've got nice sunny weather, which is good. Jean Morrison is in Atlanta, and it's sunny Atlanta. Hello. Milady, good to see you too. Dorothy Wendell said, before we get started, I have a question. Is there a specific reason why you suggest multiple brands of silk in your projects? Does it have to do with color or texture reasons? Dorothy Wendell, that is a good question.
It is.
You know, I think that that's wonderful. Well, first of all, the silks that I use that are over-dyed is definitely because of the color.
Yes.
And also because of the color changes happening fairly quickly or slowly. In other words, long sections of one color or short sections of one color. And I prefer the short sections because we work in smaller areas than needle pointers do. So definitely with overdyes. With the other threads, sometimes I use the, the first thing is color.
Mm-hmm.
The very first thing is color. But there's also texture because the Au Ver Soie has a very thick, heavy texture.
Yeah.
Needlepoint ink is kind of like a little bit twisted and has a different kind of sheen.
Absolutely.
And as you know, Mori is made of fluffy things, not necessarily the filaments, but the leftovers.
Yes.
So it's a less expensive silk, and that is how. And of course, it has many, many different colors, and it behaves fairly well, although it's a bit fuzzy. And the reason I use that is to make sure that the packs are not so expensive. That's the secondary reason. But the first reason is always color. And believe it or not, with all of the palettes that you can see, you can hardly ever change one color for another brand's color.
Yes. It's very difficult to find a similar color, say from an Au Ver Soie to a needlepoint ink, for example.
They have their own ranges.
They have their own ranges. And it being all threads take dye differently, you can't get the same effect from one brand to another.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the main reasons. I'm not too sure, but of course they're different manufacturers. So we actually feel, or at least I do, that we have a big palette because we have 3 main suppliers. Now, that also goes on to the question, and this is a really good question because it actually has some more detail to it, which is that some of the silks that we use have got now recently, or over the last 10 years, have changed their dye lot so much.
Absolutely. They're not like the original color that you used.
So you may notice a change here and there that we have to substitute because it's too close to another color in the same pattern.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened too often, but it's happening more and more. Particularly, it started happening with Au Ver Soie.
Absolutely. Yes.
Needlepoint ink we find extremely good.
Yes. Their dye lots
very
not to
little.
vary too much.
No. And Mori also, they're both very good, and they're very good at sending their materials, which is another really important part when you are putting together act packs.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yep.
Jennifer does have on her pink slippers. Yes.
Black pants, black top and pants.
See, I don't know what it is. I can see you somehow. I didn't know about the black pants.
And black goes very well with pink, obviously. I also have black pants on. So.
I do too.
Yeah.
So we're a trio now. Thank you, Jennifer Gowan. That's kind of cute. Tedra.
Thank you, Tedra.
Love your bright outfits. Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to be a little brighter because it's really cloudy and foggy outside and a little bit cool. So we thought, oh, well, it's still summer for everyone.
Yes.
And if we go into our autumn colors, at least that's how I thought. If I go into autumn colors right now, I've got nothing left to change into.
Into when it actually turns to autumn.
Ellen Meldrum is here. Hello to everyone. Cloudy and dull here in Scotland. Looks like it may rain. Oh, that sounds so nice.
And it sounds like us.
It does. Sounds like home. Marge, thank you so much. Your pinks are beautiful.
Thank you.
Actually, Lorraine mentioned to me in a private email, she said, oh, Thea, you should wear that pink more often. It's like a fuchsia. And I think that pink kind of enlivens your skin tones.
It makes you look pinky.
Yeah. So now
rather than pale. Actually, I look a little pink today rather than pale.
You've got little pink cheeks. Tammy says today is payday. Oh, this Friday. Big smile.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great. Hello, Kathy Monk. Good to see you. Finished Christmas gazebo, says Tedra. A week ago, I took the nativity sampler to my framer, and I'll have them for the holiday season.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, so wonderful. Congratulations. So you'll have to take a picture when you've got them so we can see how you framed them, or your framers framed them. Serena Dubé says, hello, ladies, from Humid, Washington.
Humid.
I know. I've always said Muhammad. I guess it's, once you start saying stuff like that, it just continues.
It's like, okay, no, I don't get Muhammad out of that, but Whatever.
Jeanette Arizmendi is here from Bogota, Colombia. Hola.
Hola. Mm-hmm.
Hello, ladies. From Jillian Burst, Linda Bazarski says, hi from Connecticut, bracing for a big hurricane.
On Sunday,
Oh,
wow.
Okay, that's kind of scary. How do you brace? Like, do you
put shutters on the window?
Yeah, do you do stuff like that? Or
Yeah.
do you have to just kind of ride it out? Or do you go to your basement? I mean, we don't have those hurricanes.
No, we don't.
And actually, Connecticut doesn't usually have hurricanes, although I have seen the effects of a hurricane there.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess you get them, but not that often.
It's
right?
usually the tail end, right?
Must be.
Yeah.
Well, crossing our fingers and toes and eyes for you. Jennifer Chung says, happy Friday. Thank you. Good morning to you too. Dorothy's, thank you so much. It seems a couple of suggested cranite colors for tea and stitches aren't available anywhere. I'm looking and I'm wondering how to substitute. Yes, you could use a different brand. And
Absolutely.
yes, you could use a different color.
And use a different color, absolutely. At least with tea and stitches, it would be easy to change colors.
Yes, make sure that in that particular design, there aren't any cool colors.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your pinks warm on the orangey or yellowy side. Keep your blues on the warm side. And I don't think there's very many. And the greens, you can also keep in the turquoisey side. So that way you will be in... your palette will feel cohesive if you keep your colors, all the different colors warm. The pink should not be this color pink, for instance. It should be more this color pink, which is a warmer, softer color. Pat Henke says, good morning. Tedra says, I will take pics and upload them to Facebook group when I get them back. Yay!
Sounds good.
That's really good. That's a milestone when you get things framed. This blouse is really nice. And so is the necklace, but they keep shifting, and I'm afraid I'm showing too much.
Oh, no. You
So
are
let
not.
me know, okay?
You are not showing too much. But I know that feeling.
At this age, I just don't want to.
I have a long dress that's comes down quite low, and it's like, well, I don't wear it all the time. It has to be really hot, and generally I just wear it when I'm at home.
Yeah, well, it's okay at the beach, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, don't worry about that. That's silly of me.
Yeah.
I just wondered what our stitch of the week is. But before we get to that, by the way, we have a number of little things to show you, which is kind of fun. But I was wondering, what did you do this week?
Oh, geez.
I always ask her that, and she never knows what she did.
I do so many things that it's hard to keep track. But basically, I'm packaging up pre-orders from some of the shops that we received orders from in June.
Yeah,
so
we created an opportunity for them to order before we stopped selling wholesale.
Yeah.
So they ordered a lot, and that meant that we had to actually order all the raw materials and also make a lot of packs.
That's right.
And we're in the process of doing that. So
That's
now we've got some back.
Exactly.
They've been made.
Yes.
Wonderful.
They've been made, and so
they're
I
packaged.
sorted through, counted, checked, and packaged.
So you shipped and shipped and shipped.
And shipped and shipped. And I have a little more left to do today.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And that was your main focus this week?
That was my main focus this week. It just, as I said yesterday when you said you were getting ready for Facebook Friday, I went, Friday? Is it Friday tomorrow?
Friday. We're just never going to get rid of you. You're always going to be here helping us. And by the way, we got a number of orders this week,
we
too.
Did, absolutely.
Thank you. All. Very nice of you, because we, of course, are very happy to have them at this time.
Yes.
Since we don't have accessory packs, but we do have still all of our leaflets.
That's right. And so that's the other thing I'll be doing today is getting those orders off, too.
Yeah, because, regular people are ordering also.
Absolutely.
And that is lovely.
Yes.
I can't thank you enough for any of the orders that you place. We love them all. Kathy Bird says, morning from Northern Virginia. Hello. I hope you're not getting that typhoon or whatever it's called. What's it called? Hurricane. Sorry.
Yeah.
I hope you're not getting that, Kathy Bird. Beverly Fleming. Hello. Patricia Rideout. Nova Scotia is getting the tail end of that hurricane. So when you get the tail end, hopefully it's not too disturbing. I know it's a lot of wind, though.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we get high winds here, too, but I don't think
Nothing
they're
like
necessarily classified as hurricanes.
No.
Sometimes they say hurricane strength winds.
Yeah, or hurricane force winds.
Yeah,
I
that's
doubt
right.
it somehow.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
don't know. I mean, look at that time that we had those strong winds and it basically knocked all the trees down in Stanley Park in Vancouver.
Yes, that was something, but that was a real event, and that doesn't happen too often.
True, absolutely.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from you. Thank you so much. And Wanda, good morning
Good
to
morning,
you
Wanda.
also. Okay, so what I did this week, I did no stitching. I did do a teensy bit of designing, which is good because I have to have September in the bag pretty soon.
True.
For the stitch-along people.
Hard to believe. My goodness, sorry.
Yep, it's got to be done before September so that I can be ready with the first part.
And so you can tinker with it a little bit too.
I do tend to do that, yes. And it's going to be a nice little scene. And what else did I do? I worked with Richard a fair bit. We've been working on our portfolio, which is, not my favorite thing to do, I must say, but I've got to know about it because if I don't know about it and something happens to him, I'll just go, I don't know where everything is.
Absolutely, yes. So it's a good thing and to look on that.
To look at all of that. And so we did that this week, and we also did a bunch of decluttering.
That's the other thing, yes.
Which is wonderful.
We have been decluttering around here, which is great.
Yes. Actually, the Victoria Sampler is my place to clutter.
Yeah.
You're doing your best to clutter it too, but I'm really the one that brings in all of this stuff.
You really are the one, yes. I tend to agree with you there.
And I'm a little pack rat.
Yeah.
Anyway, right? And so it's just like, it's been my excuse. I can, gather up patterns. I can buy them. I can buy materials. I get sent samples. We get electronic equipment, just in case we need it. And then we get all of the equipment that we need for our business itself. But I'm just talking about my stash, my stuff. There's a whole room of my stuff, which I guess is my work room, basically, over there.
It is, yes. I'm actually looking forward to going through that.
But that's my work room. No.
You don't need all that stuff.
So we're going to be doing a bit of decluttering again every week, and that will ratchet up most likely very soon. Also, I meant to say to you, we really should get the Beyond Cross Stitch patterns up.
Yes,
that should be on your list, I think.
That's next week's job.
Good morning, Agnes.
Yeah.
Baron, nice to see you. And Kathy Bird is not going to be impacted. Oh. Okay, good. So just some rain, you can handle that.
The rain is good right now. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Dorothy Wendell's Tree and Stitches leaflet isn't here yet after 2 weeks.
Not too sure when it was sent out, Dorothy. So it could have been delayed in being sent out and was only sent out last week. Mail between Canada and the States takes a good 14 business days.
At
least.
So try to be patient. I know it's awful to be waiting, and we wish we could send everything out tracked and one day like Amazon. Unfortunately, we are not Amazon, and we would need a fulfillment center right near you.
Yes.
In order to do. Did you hear about the fact we're getting a fulfillment center
here? Is it
going
to be on the island or on the mainland?
It's going to be up near Sydney on the opposite side, near the airport.
Oh, okay. Where the racetrack used to be?
I don't know. But my point is that it's going to be there, and it's a gigantic building, and the lot that it's going on is huge and is now being used to store things for other companies. But they've sold it to them, and it's going to happen by 2023. Not looking forward to it, I must say.
There'd be lots of traffic out that way.
300 employees are going to be living and working in that area.
2,300 employees?
No, 300.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know if they're going to find any places to live around here, because honestly, our rate of rental, what's that called?
We are the 4th highest city in Canada for rent.
What is that? Oh, the highest rent.
The highest rent.
And the fewest places to rent.
Exactly.
In Canada.
For just a basic 2-bedroom apartment is going for $2,400 to $2,500.
Yep. Canadian, mind you.
Canadian.
But for those of you who are in the U.S., it might be a little less in U.S. money, but it is really high.
Yeah, it's really high for here.
And that's a little apartment.
Yeah,
that's 800 square feet or something.
Yeah, that's a basic 2-bedroom.
Anyway, so we have terrible housing crunch here on the island, and even the Prime Minister came here, Trudeau came here and started saying that he was going to do something about it. I'm thinking, don't do something about it. You'll just wreck everything even more. It's already bad enough. Anyway, we are going to be enjoying the fact that there's going to be an Amazon Center. Not my favorite.
No.
Cloudy in central Arkansas, says Tanya. And Loretta is here. Oh, no. Loretta's saying, wow. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know.
I feel the same way. Anyway, that's enough other stuff.
Yeah.
Because we really have to talk about Stitch of the Week.
I know.
Yeah. Here we are, Stitch of the Week. And it's coming at 10 o'clock. In 10 minutes, it will be revealed unto you in YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You got that?
This is the stitch, because I've done these some time ago, as you guys know, and it is the hem stitching part, which is in the middle. Exactly. I call it plain hem stitching. Yes. We've called it simple hem stitching, plain hem stitching. They're all different kind.
Exactly.
And that is the one right there, and it's over 2 fabric threads, right?
It's gathering 2 threads.
Yes. And we'll just see which one this one is, which is level 4, number 7. So that's the one we have made a short video out of, put some music to it, and made it easy for you to be able to reference on YouTube. And it's not on this sample,
It's not on that sample, but I think we'll show this anyways.
Maybe for next time, because I think we're going to be going into this one another time.
We can show it next time, that's true, rather than showing it right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to pass this. Let's see, I hate these little tags. Sorry, I got to remove something. There we go.
I'm just going to chat here for a second. And Inga says, we have affordable housing shortage where I live too.
Yeah.
So you know. And we're not talking affordable. We're talking any housing here.
Yeah.
Like there are people giving multiple offers on any houses or condos that are available. And there's very few available.
Yeah.
The Bay Area is more expensive. Glad we own our house.
Yes,
we feel the same way.
Definitely.
Very glad. Brenda Lichlier says, morning. I went to look on the map. Very nice place. I think you're talking about Victoria or Sydney, right? In British Columbia? Yes, thank you.
Okay. And so this is Lavender Heart. Am I too far away?
I don't know. We're going to have to go to the hem stitching, which is right there.
Right there.
Yes, and if you put your finger... There you go. Oh, yes, that's good. There. As soon as we can get this in focus, let's see if we can do this. Come on. No, see, it won't now. Okay, so let's try again. There we go. Nope, and it goes out of focus again. So never mind. You can see that that is where that is. And I wanted you to see the entire thing. So I'm going to start up here where there's a little bit of heart hanger. Then there's some little roses in lavender. Then there's the hem stitching and a whole bunch of other different stitches. And my favorite, literally, is that over dye.
Mine too.
That lavender, purple, dark, light. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And then what about the one underneath it with the sawtooth pattern in satin stitching?
Yeah.
That color is phenomenal. And then, of course, I use the same one a little bit lower down, Lavender Hearts. So if you can get that one over dye, you can do this gorgeous Vargello bottom, which is another one of my favorites. So when you look at the whole thing in far away, it doesn't look quite as impressive as when you look at each individual band, because each one has its own charm and beauty.
And it was a fun piece to stitch.
It is a fun
Lavender
piece
Heart.
to stitch,
Absolutely.
yes. See, my necklace just goes off, just like that.
Nope.
Just constantly goes off. Okay, you can show this one. Can you see it all right?
Well, can I see it? Yeah.
In other words,
I
can you
this.
see to show it? That's what I meant.
We'll see. Okay. We'll see if I can see. Okay. So here's Happy Hearts.
Yes.
And actually the plain hem stitch
Good.
is the edging around the side there. But I love all the different panels on this. We thank thee, God, for happy hearts. And I can't remember what the next one says.
And something about, we thank the God for happy hearts. And then the next one.
For rain and sunny weather.
Right.
We thank thee, God, for needlework, and that we are together.
Yes, this was for a lovely in-person seminar. Where did
Yeah.
they do this one? Do you remember?
Victoria.
Was this the Victoria one?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got some accoutrements, which those of you who know this pattern know very well. A little scissor case and a scissor fob that goes with it. That's in one side.
Yeah, and then
Is there another little guy? Oh, yes, there's a biscornu as well. I love this one because it has some bright, bright fuchsia, like my blouse,
Like your blouse.
in it. You can see the overdye here. Let's see. You can see that overdye right there. Isn't that lovely? And it actually is echoed all throughout. There's a little, I think that's silk ribbon, is it? No, this one isn't silk ribbon. It's a
Lazy Daisy.
the Lazy Daisy stitch with a beautiful floss that is that color. And then you can see I've carried that fuchsia pink right there. That's me stitching. No. And there is a queen stitch flower here in that color. But all throughout, the majority of the color is this teal color, which it's just set off by all these various different shades. I love this one.
Me too.
So those are our samples of the types of hem stitching. It's difficult to find hem stitching in every single different pattern because I didn't do it in every pattern.
You didn't do it in every pattern. No.
Tedra says, I just finished stitching the round pin cushion and the needle roll for Lavender Hearts. You did? I thought you just finished saying you had some other things framed.
Oh, she did. But she just finished stitching these ones and now she's finishing.
You are just a stitching maniac. That's great. I'm going to work on finishing tonight and tomorrow. I'll do the sampler beginning of the year after the holidays. That's a great
Very
idea
nice.
because as a sampler it looks great. Hi, Richard.
Yeah.
Loretta says, love the colors. Lovely colors. They really are.
Yeah.
They go really well together.
They do.
And speaking of which, we also have some lovely colors in some other models that we've got here. But they don't have hem stitching.
No, they don't.
We've decided not to go looking for the exact same patterns that have hem stitching because there's no point. We've
That's
shown
right.
them and shown them.
We tend to show the same models over and over again. So we've got some different ones today.
Yes, we have some summer ones.
That's right. Starting with these cute little blocks.
Oh, yes. I don't know if you remember these. We've really only just had these out for the last little while.
Yeah.
These two have...
Accessory packs still left available.
yes, we made way too many.
That's right.
So keep this in mind because these guys here, both of these have accessory packs. You should just get the patterns
Yeah.
and get the accessory packs while they're still there because there's only a few left.
There's only a few left.
But they are still there. So if you're interested, you should think about these because they go with
Exactly.
these two.
These two.
I want to get these
I
in there
like
too.
how the blocks are. The bows are all a little bit different.
Yes. And they look a little bit like little presents. And I think those of you who have seen these before, you know that Lisa has done a beautiful job finishing them. But all it took was putting pins in.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sequin pins.
Sequin pins, that's
Yeah.
what they're called?
They're called sequin pins.
Because they're little and they're short.
And they're kind of the same pins for you would use for those folded material ornaments.
Okay, I know those kind. And so all we did was get, let's see, 1, 2. So there's a wide one that covers the block itself. And then there's a narrow one that gives a little...
accent.
yes, that's a good word. And is the accent color of the house itself. And then that's all we did around the outside. But at the top, we added some white because there's white in here. And I think in another one, we added some gold because this one, the thatched cottage, has this lovely thatched gold color. So we added some of this ribbon as well, just in the bow though. And what is this? This is blue and gold. Oh no, so it's not just in the
And
the
that's
bow.
also blue and gold, but a little bit of red
That's
in
right.
that bow.
Yeah.
And then this one, of course, has the nice turquoise and the pink.
Soft pink.
Yes.
I love that one. So anyway, these are the two that we have backpacks for. So grab them while you can.
Yeah.
And also grab, while you're shopping, we have two little needles. Well, we have all the needles, I think, still, right?
Yes.
But the bulky needles are not the same as these guys.
No, I love these needles. I can't imagine stitching without them now.
These are called Easy Glide.
Easy Glide ball tip needles.
Easy Guide ball tip needles.
Guide. Okay, yes.
Yeah, and we have them in 24s and 26s, and 26s. And you can see the difference. As soon as you pick one up and do one stitch, you'll know that they're a different kind of needle altogether from any other kind.
Absolutely.
They just literally, they do glide. They should have been called Easy Glide.
They should have been called Easy Glide. Someone told, I think it was Loretta, who said, "Oh, these needles." I'm going, "Nah, they can't be like that." Loretta, you're absolutely right. They're fantastic.
And then we have one pair of scissors left.
We've only got the Aquatique scissors left.
They're a beautiful shade. And
Beautiful
actually,
shade.
they go with anything teal or green or blue, really.
And they have a really nice point to them.
We used to actually only carry this one, and it was extremely popular. So many of you already have this one. But if you haven't yet collected that one, it is here on our website still.
Yes.
I don't know how many are left, but again, not too many.
I think only half a dozen or something like that. There's not that many.
And Lynn says, "I'm late today, went to a 60th birthday." That's what you do when you go out for lunch. You come home and fall asleep when you're after you're 60 years old.
And happy birthday.
Yes. I don't know if it was your birthday, Lynn, but anyway, happy birthday to whoever it was. Thank you, Loretta and Jennifer. I'm glad you like all those colors that we showed you earlier on the Happy Hearts sweet bag. And Loretta loves those needles. That's what she said. And
Same with Marge
says the same thing. So again, we don't want to push these things, but we have them here. And we do want to make sure that those of you who still want those know that they're still available.
Yeah.
So just grab them.
And you won't regret buying the needles at all.
Nope. And I do have a few more things to show, but I thought what I'd do is read a little bit more of the Plain and Fancy.
Okay.
And I found that I was getting bogged down last time. I was also a little tired because I hadn't slept all night.
Yeah.
And just so I cover this, several of you, not everyone of course, but several of you wrote separately and asked me if I was okay. Thank you so much. I was fine. I just really hadn't slept that night.
Lack of sleep.
That just throws me. I can't function very well. I was kind of stumbling over words and I don't know. Anyway, so the reason I mentioned it then was I thought, well, at least you know what my excuse is. But then you thought that maybe I was sick or something, and or some of you did, and I'm not sick. I'm good and continued to be good.
Yes, lack of sleep does strange things to you. Yeah. Or not just to you, strange things
to a person.
To a person.
Yeah, I think there are people who are very used to having a lack of sleep, and they might be able to cope a little better, but you and I, we love our sleep.
I like my sleep. I would prefer if it was uninterrupted like I used to have 10 years ago, but you know.
Yes, and as you get to my age, you will find that there are some evenings and nights when you just, there's no reason. You just don't sleep as well. But I also notice that I sleep less well when I am trying to lose weight. Because then I don't have the heaviness of the meals I've had that day. So I tend to not sleep as thoroughly or as deeply. But since January, remember I said I'd lost 10? Now I've lost 12.
Oh, good for you. Okay,
Right?
you've gotten over the plateau.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was a 2-week plateau, but I'll tell you, I'm so thrilled. I'm on the other side of it now. So let's hope that continues. And really, it is a good feeling to feel a bit lighter. I think COVID was kind of nasty to keep everyone inside and all that and worried. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. In fact, amongst my friends, I've heard it said, so how's your COVID weight coming along? Everyone gained, 10 pounds or whatever, because it's not an easy time for anyone. Speaking of which, I hope things are okay for everyone in this group.
Yeah.
And those of you who are watching, I hope health-wise you're all good.
Absolutely.
And you and I are good.
Yes.
We luckily don't have too much problem here. So, this is the book. It's called Plain and Fancy. Oh, thank you, Jennifer Gowan. Thank you, Jillian Burst. I have to check and see what Magali is saying, and I'm going to look for the translation. Happy day. Enjoy the weekend, group. Hello, Magali. Hola. And then I really like the needles, but I've gotten so accustomed to using the petites. So these feel so very long. Yeah, it is when you get used to something.
They are a little bit longer than a regular tapestry needle even.
Yeah, I think so too. And I never did get used to the petites. I found them too petite.
Yeah, I mean, with the long fingers I have, the petite needles just get lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also if you have longer nails, because you do
Yeah,
have longer
well,
nails.
true.
So if you have the really short ones, you kind of really have to be able to grip them
Yes.
correctly. And
Yeah.
anyway, it's what you would get used to. So
Definitely.
I'm sorry that they don't fit your hand yet, but you can get used
Yeah.
to them again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm looking at Plain and Fancy, American women and their needlework. I'm sorry, it's not about Scotland, although
Yeah.
probably a lot of the American women came from Scotland.
Came from Scotland, absolutely,
I
or
wouldn't be
Ireland,
surprised.
and
That's right. So remember I talked about how women, last time, about how women were meant to be married. This is their whole
Yes.
thing because, they didn't have an awful lot of...
they couldn't advance in work atmospheres. They're actually, a lot of them would not be even able to get a job.
There weren't any jobs for women except for what they did at home.
Yes.
Absolutely. And that, of course, was still work, but it wasn't paid work. But if you didn't do that, then you would if you didn't sew or you weren't able to use your needle, you had much less chance of either getting married or being able to make a living.
Yes.
It was... I'll just talk about the last little bit of that whole chapter, which I'm not going to read all of. Needlework was well within the most restrictive compass of a woman's possibilities, and also a garnish to it. In other words, they had not only had to do it, but they also could make it what they wanted to make of it. They could invent things. They could create with it. Indeed, for many generations, handwork and fancy sewing epitomized the ideal woman. Can you imagine?
Yes.
We are the ideal women. But there is more to the story. If fancy needlework was a symbol of woman's way of life, and it was, that way of life was not always as rigidly confining as the puritanical exhortation, keep within the compass, suggests. So keep within the compass was basically a way to tell women, stay within your, area.
Yes.
Don't do anything different. Just keep having babies and stay home. Thank you, Larry, his wife.
Yeah.
Hello, Kathleen. Thank you so much. And Dorothy says, I love this show. Thank you. Aw, you're so sweet. Anyway, so at these moments, the achievements help us to see some real and remarkable people beneath the cloak of domesticity and subservience, which for the most part has shrouded our perceptions of these women. So now I go into Plain Sewing, Plain Housewives. This is chapter 1, and I'm not going to read the entire book, believe me.
Yeah.
But I thought
We'll
the
be
beginning
here
of this...
for a long time.
Yes, we would be here for a long time. But I am going to... it's about 7 minutes after, so I'll read for about 3 minutes, and just to get an idea of what these women were like. Every early American girl learned plain needlework, usually starting as soon as she could manipulate a needle. Sorry, a reader. I'm thinking I'm reading. Okay. A girl from common circumstances certainly had to know how to sew because, as a housewife, she had to make and mend all the cloth products her family needed. Not only clothing, but bed linens and towels as well. However, a wealthy girl needed to know how to sew because it was unlikely that she could afford to pay someone else to do all the plain sewing her larger household required. There would be more clothing, bed linens and towels and curtains and table linens. She could delegate much of the work to servants, but she needed to know enough to direct them, and she might even have to teach them. Besides, without knowing the simple and basic techniques of plain sewing, she could not begin to learn fancy needlework. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yep, absolutely.
And fancy needlework was important for the wealthy
Yes.
girls. Plain sewing was so basic to a girl's training that any girl who could not sew was considered odd.
Ah, yes.
Certainly not ready for marriage. Marriage was not merely a goal in life for a girl, it was her mission. She heard enough derogatory remarks about spinsters, also known as, oh gosh, you should see what else they're called, thornbacks, whatever
Oh,
that
my
means,
goodness.
stale virgins,
Oh, no.
antique virgins, stale maids, and old maids. Can you believe it? These derogatory remarks about women who didn't get married? Anyway, they witnessed enough contemptuous treatment of them to understand very early that if she were to fail to marry, she would bring not only unhappiness to herself,
But to her family.
but a measure of social disgrace on herself and on her family.
Mm-hmm.
So socially, it was not acceptable for a woman to be on her own. So to win a husband and to serve him well, she had to know how to sew. Isn't that amazing how the needle
Yeah.
and thread presented that? Like that was the reason why she was accepted by society?
Yeah.
I mean, really. Moreover, plain sewing provided a woman who had little or no help in her household an opportunity to sit down for a while. We know this one. The sitting down for a while.
Yes. But once I sit down, I may never get up again.
I think she had to get up again. And it says here, and she could sit down for a while and let her mind wander, all the while secure in the knowledge that she was doing something productive.
Yes.
Keeping her hands busy. And really, I know I still feel that sometimes. If I'm sitting down not doing anything, my hands are idle, I still feel like, this is like, I'm not supposed to be doing that. My hands should be busy. So I guess it goes down and through this generations.
Absolutely.
We don't even know where it comes
You
from.
can't just sit and not do anything.
No.
Although I quite often sit and not do anything. So
Yes, we do. We override our natural guilt, but it's still there in our society, I think. This was an important consideration, for to be idle was thought to be sinful. So in our past somewhere, all these women were told that. As the Reverend Isaac Watts, author of the Divine Songs for Children, a popular source of sampler verses, wrote, "Satan finds some mischief still for idle hands to do." So it goes on about the socializing that you do when you're sewing, but that's for next week. Because I think I took up, 4 minutes. And now I'm keeping track, and I am really thrilled to share this some more with you, because the idea that women have been sewing and working needlework, not just for hundreds of years, but thousands of years, when you think about it, it is really remarkable. And we are actually, you and me and all of you out there, all the people that ply their needle, whether it's with fancy needlework like we're doing, or creating clothes, or maybe making moccasins with beads on them, or anything to do with the needle. We have a whole bunch of forebears that are, they're all part of what we do today. And we stretch back all the way back to prehistory, when people had to make shoes out of, some kind of animal hide. And they used a bone needle to pierce through and lace those things up. And when we think about how long the needle and thread have been in existence and how long we've been associated with them, as our purview, our female gender is associated with the needle. It is really remarkable. Not that I like to be just associated with a needle. I like being associated with a number of other things as well. You too.
Yes.
Yes, we do. So let us go and see what people are saying. My girlfriend loves the petites, but I can't use them, says Kathleen. Larry says, way to go. And I think that's about my dropping in weight. Thank you. Kathleen says, I have trouble going to the movies because I want to stitch and not just sit there and watch.
My husband will say, oh, you want to go see a movie tonight? And I said, well, no, I'll wait until it comes out on DVD and then I can watch it at home and stitch. So
and these days it's coming out on streaming. My grandmother, born in 1889, was a man's tailor. How interesting. So she made her living using her needle and thread.
Absolutely.
That is very... that's very precise kind of work.
Definitely.
Being a tailor. Wow. Yes, got it, tailor.
Yeah.
Brenda Licklier says, I read or heard that the pandemic has gotten a lot more people interested in stitching.
Yes.
I think so too.
I think so.
Stitching and probably knitting in the winter. And
all kinds of handwork.
With needles.
With needles.
Okay, so, and now I wanted to also share a couple of little patterns that we have not shown for a little while to do with summer, because it's summertime. And this one is one of the first ones I wanted to share. It's one that we haven't shown very often at all.
No, we haven't. No.
This is so different and cute, and it was part of a class, or it is a class.
Yes.
And what do we call this?
A day at the beach.
Right. And as you can see, it's a little purse that has these gussets made out of this white and blue kind of denim blue fabric, which makes them makes the gussets look really cute. And the inside is lined with that same fabric, as you can see. And inside also are a day at the beach book, which is what you need at the beach.
Well, at the beach you need a book, definitely.
And at the beach you would be learning your ABCs in stitches. So I'm just going to show you the little booklet. Look how cute this is. This is another nautical fabric that Lisa used for an inside. And so a day at the beach has Bargello and other stitches here. DE, and there is the plain hem stitching, and Harbor IJ with a little flip-flops. What is the flip-flop for? Thong. No, what was that for again?
They're called flip-flops.
Yes, but it should be part of the I and the J, I thought.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I guess I just put a flip-flop in there. And a kayak. These are all oriented to the ocean and to the beach. And because we live here on the West Coast, we also have an orca in here, and QRS, TUV, and the end, XYZ, in Sydney by the Sea. So this was a Sydney by the Sea retreat, wasn't it?
It was, exactly. And then it has a cute little pouch, which you can put a measuring tape in.
Yes. We thought we'd put the yellow one in because it kind of matched the sand that we're sitting on, and that's Lisa and I. You can see that, right? The resemblance.
Mermaids.
Mermaids. I put the American flag on this time mainly because we have a lot of American stitchers that are part of our customer list. So I thought that I'd do that this time. But it could also be a Canadian flag or any other flag, a Scottish flag or whatever, and both sides are exactly the same. I love the way these little handles are made, and they're finished with a little button that you just basically sewed through.
Sewed on, and I think there's buttons on the bottom too.
Oh, look at this. Yes, to sit on.
Yeah.
This actually stands up really well, and it's a really cute thing to put on your mantle or just to make a little still life around beaches. So I wanted to show you a day at the beach. We haven't shown that for such a long time, and it was really fun to create. It's also really fun for you to create if you want to. The leaflet is still there.
And it wouldn't take too long to stitch. There's not a lot of stitching to it.
No, and actually the little beach book, you don't have to finish it this way. The little picture can just be a picture. And then the little beach book can be made that way, and that would be, just by itself, would be really fun too. I think this would be really fun to have the day at the beach. Again, the front and the back. And you don't have to do it on this raw linen. It can be done on a white or a blue. It would all look really nice. Thank you so much, Anne and Rachel. So sweet of you. And it looks like Tammy enjoys watching movies at home.
Yep. While she's stitching.
Exactly. Kathleen says I put the American flag on one side and the Canadian on the other side.
Great idea.
Smart of you. Because I think...
Kathleen was here for the retreat.
Yeah, I was just thinking you were here and someone else here was here as well. Was Donna? Were you here, Donna, when we did that one? Because I know you came to one of us. Thanks, Jennifer Chung.
I'm not too sure if Donna was at that one or not.
I'm sure Donna will tell us.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. And also we have our beach cottage. And I don't know, did we call it beach cottage?
I think we called it beach cottage, yes.
I hope so.
Yes.
It's the yellow cottage with the turquoise. My favorite combination for summer. And looks really cute. I don't think we need this anymore.
No.
This number. We'll get the number out of there. And it says, dreams are made of sand and sun. And that is the truth. And so that one looks really nice. And of course, you've seen this one before. Sunflower Street. Which is just about now.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, our sunflowers are just glowing in everyone's
they
yards.
are. And actually, did you see down on Central Saanich, they have a sunflower maze you can walk through?
Yes.
Have you gone through it?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But I think I better. Eh?
Yes.
And we also are selling sunflowers just down the street. Aw, look at this. What is that little animal on the hammock?
I don't know.
It definitely looks like it's beachy time.
Yeah.
And finally, we have something called Summer Box.
Yes.
So your favorite because you finished this.
I enjoyed finishing this one. It was a challenge,
Definitely.
but it was a lot of fun to do.
Your finishing skills were honed to this degree
Mhm.
of beauty. Look at this. This was the bottom of the summer box. All these were created, all these angles, etc., were created by Lisa. She actually folded the
4-ply mat board.
4-ply mat board in these creases so that it would look like a heart.
Yeah.
Beautiful, with a little bottom that's also soft pink. And honestly, I've never seen anything like this ever anywhere. Then the top goes on, which I know some of you have already seen. The top goes on with a little bit of a lip, so it fits right in and doesn't move when you put it on the box. And of course, the main part of this is lots of pearls, lots of cross stitch, like a huge amount of cross stitch, and then silk ribbon on top of those pearls and those cross stitches. So it is beautiful to do, and this can also be framed. It doesn't have to be put on a box, just because we did.
Yes.
You could frame this in a heart-shaped mat. It would be stunning.
Yep. And then, of course, what else goes with it is this scissor case. And the scissors just pull up.
Oh, I can't see that.
There's no scissors. Sorry.
That's okay. You just have to get a little farther away so we can see the loop. You see the loop
There we go.
there?
I see it now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So imagine there's scissors on it, and you would actually pull all the way up into the case.
Yes. And actually, that scissor slide, I think we called it,
Yeah.
right? It's a scissor slide. Works like crazy. It works really well. And this is my other ultimate favorite, which is a little cover for a small
Measuring tape.
measuring tape. Isn't that adorable? And look at that. It works, and you just have to push on the flower to make it go back in. And it works. That actually was the hardest of all, I think.
That was a tight fit, that one, but
Look at it. It's really tight fit. See, on the edges? And that's all stitched as well. This whole set was back in the days when I stitched as like 8 hours a day.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
And you finished at practically
I
4
did.
hours a day.
Yeah. I would go home after working a full day and finish.
That's right. So that was in the days when we did a whole bunch more work than we're doing now.
Yes.
Lisa, that's beautiful, she said.
Thank you, Brenda.
Oh, and Donna says she did the summer box in different colors.
I sort of remember that.
Yes, I remember that. Thank you, Rach. That's really nice to hear. And Jennifer. And Donna says, I wasn't here for the beach one. It was for the birthday celebration.
But she did stitch part of the beach one.
That's why.
Yes.
That's why I had you associated somehow with the beach one. And you did the other side, didn't you? Thank you very much, Donna. I believe this summer box is in my stash. If it is, I'm starting it.
Oh, yeah.
It is so nice to stitch, and the colors are just like, they're just, makes you feel like ice cream. I don't know. They're just lovely. Would love to see a picture of your box. Oh, to Donna. Yes, because it's different colors, and it is also just beautiful. I think that's all I wanted to show.
You want to show today?
But we had a request to tell the story of Frankincense, Gold, and Myrrh. It's not a big story. It's a little story. I was working in a needle workshop called Fancy Works in Victoria. And I had been seeing all these hand-painted canvases that were sitting up on these easels. She had easels, and she had various other ways of displaying these things. And I wasn't into hand-painted canvases at all.
No.
But I saw the colors of the hand-painted canvases, and then I saw some people who were in the guild who were stitching those hand-painted canvases, and many of those people used beads as well as threads. But they had their canvas mounted or stretched on stretcher bars because the canvas, even though it was 18 count fabric, was very stiff. It had stiffening in it.
Yes.
So they could put those beads on really easily, and they wouldn't fall or sag or anything. But I, in my ignorance, thought I could do the same thing on linen. And it's not the same on linen at all. So when you're doing linen, the linen is pliable. So those beads really had to have a strong way to hold, that linen had to be really held well in order for the beads to be able to be put on properly.
Definitely. Yes.
So I started, and honestly, I should have done a hand-painted canvas. I should have colored it in. So instead, what I did was I created the pattern, and then I literally kind of colored it in with various stitches like they did the canvas work. And as you can see, the top, for instance, is satin stitches. Then I used these green kind of metallic looking bugle beads as well. And then some of the, what are these called, these stitches?
Queen stitches.
Thank you. I got a little lost there for a second. Queen stitches. And then this stuff here, I created the idea of it, but I didn't know how to make it work. And so because I created it on a chart by hand with a pencil, I basically just followed the chart. And it was really hard to do. Anyone who has done this or is about to do this, you'll find that satin stitching is not easy. So what I did, instead of leaving the satin stitches the way they were, I covered the outside with gold braid that I couched down with little stitches along the way, so that at least it would follow the outline of all those satin stitches, and that it would cover, because the satin stitches were not all equal, right? Because it's linen, for heaven's sake, and it goes in and out, in and out. I don't know what I was thinking, but I do want you to know that my determination was to do all three gifts, and I hadn't had enough experience to kind of envision anyone else doing it. I was just doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
And did you do the pattern for this?
I have done all three, yes,
No,
but
no,
I
not
wasn't
stitch.
in the course.
Did you do the actual pattern, or was that me that
That
actually
was you.
drew?
That was you. Yes.
See, and I
Yes.
even drew the
Yes.
pattern by hand, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you had frankincense, and I think gold was was it the first course I took from you was gold?
Yes,
I
it
can't
could have
quite
been.
remember.
Then I added a whole bunch of satin stitching and completely different alphabet than I've ever done before. Some beadwork there, floral vines, more of the bugle beads, and yet more of the satin stitching. And then, of course, these things here, which is the Leviathan stitch. And I think I was just so happy to get it done. I can't even tell you. So anyone who has done these, congratulations. It's not easy. Make sure you don't do it in hand.
Yes. Yeah, you need to have it stretched on roller bars.
Stretch it hard both ways.
Yeah, it needs to be tight.
Yes, very tight, taut. And if it's not taut, then the beads will tend to crowd together and pucker the linen so easily.
Yeah.
So this is gold, and that was a marathon of metallics and bugle beads and other beads with a little lock on the front. And the same alphabet, and I also did some Jessicas, it looks like, kind of like string art with more metallics.
Yes.
And it looks like I used gold paillettes, actual real gold paillettes. And then finally Myrrh, which had the same lovely metallic greeny kind of bugle beads at the top so that it would fit with the other two. And then Myrrh had kind of a myrrh bush. That's the way the myrrh grows in the deserts. And I don't know what that bird was. I have no idea. It was
a phoenix?
kind of like a phoenix. So I suppose it meant that to me at the time. And lots of different stitches. So that's the story of how I designed these. And I think this was number 13.
It was.
So 11
and then 10.
and 10. So 10, 11, and 13 of all of the designs I've made,
right.
which are like 250 designs.
Yes.
So number 10, when I first started it, was done when I was still working at Fancy Works, and I saw all these beautiful canvas works, and I wanted to do something like that. And for some reason, I kept the patterns, and they are not very popular because it's hard to do this.
Yes.
But they are...
They're stunning once they're
beautiful.
Done. Absolutely. I have all three of them framed together in one frame.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so nice to see. The other thing about frankincense, gold, and myrrh, of course, is that I grew up with the Three Kings and all that in my head, so that's where that came from as well. It wasn't because I was religious, but just because I had been part of a Catholic thing. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Jillian. Charlotte has got all 3 as well.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, and they're very, very good colors. Okay, I'm waiting for all the threads, and then she can start the gifts. Good for you. Yeah, the threads kind of have to be those colors, I think, in order to be able to go together.
Definitely. Some of the Trebizond you might have to substitute DMC pearl cotton for.
Which would be fine.
Which will be fine, absolutely.
Yeah, choose the number 8 rather than a thicker one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's the story of that, and I told a story.
You did.
And it wasn't like an exciting story or a mystery story, but it was a story.
It was a good story.
Thank you all for hanging in for that. So sweet of you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And, oh, right, stitch along.
Yes.
Oh, that's why some of you come.
The next part.
Part 3 is again relaxing, not at all difficult. No specialty stitches on this one. Just a little bit more of the scene. And I hope that you enjoy this. This is the next part of the stitch along. You can see that the sand is kind of a pale yellow on this. Remember, this is my printer's yellow. I actually made it a little sandier color. In other words, a little grayer than this. I think I may have used 676. Oh, that's Maury, so it doesn't mean anything to you. Nevertheless, you can make the sand any color that you look to see what your sand looks like at your beach.
Yes.
Right? Because our beach is what? Grayish.
Gray. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whitish gray when it's dry.
But it's gray. It's not a golden sand
not
color.
at all.
Yeah.
And in Prince Edward Island, I know it's red.
Yes.
Their sand is a different color. So go to the beach with your favorite beach, or at least have some pictures out of the color that you like, and try to match your thread to that, because it can be your personal kind of colored beach. Doesn't
You also
have
have
to be
to make sure the sand stands out from the background.
Yes, so if you have like a beige background, make sure you make your sand quite light rather than too dark or look like very rocky.
Yes, might look like a volcanic beach.
That's right. Hawaiian beach can be black.
That's right.
Anyway, so do have a look and see what kind of beach you would like to put in there. But if you use a pale yellow, you probably can't go wrong, as long as it's, as you say, you're not stitching on yellow.
Yes.
Love the stitch along too. We all do. Yeah. Thank you. And Charlotte, yes, you should remember those tips. Make sure you tighten your frame, okay?
Yeah.
That linen's got to be just rock solid.
Have that fabric tight.
If you have roller frame, that's fine. You can make those tight.
Yeah.
And then you can lace the backs together.
Yeah.
What do they use? They use something like suspenders.
Yes,
you know,
can.
Those snaps,
you can do that. You can also use like a pearl cotton or something like that.
Just lace the back of it.
And just lace to the sidebars.
Yes, because you need both sides stretched, not just the top and bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It looks like there are 28 reactions, 47 viewers, and 90 comments.
Oh.
Thank you for participating. I'm so glad you were here. Do you have anything more to add to our morning?
No.
No?
I don't. Nope. I'm thinking ahead already today of what I need to get done. So.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
We are both very busy girls these days, although things are slowing down eventually.
They are, yes.
We look forward to that too.
Yeah.
Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Hope you have a wonderful weekend.
I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Husband's going away, so, you know.
You are so lucky to have that happen again.
I know.
Richard's going away in September.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, for 2 nights, I think.
That's good. My husband's going, there's some kind of archery competition.
Really?
Up in Duncan.
Oh. And does Bob do archery?
Yes, he does.
Is that why his name is Bob Archer?
No, not necessarily. But he, as a kid, he was into archery, so he's now picked it up again. So
maybe he should go with Richard, because Richard does archery.
Yeah.
It's quite the thing around here, I think. If you have a good backyard, you can arch your way.
We don't necessarily have a good backyard, and I'm kind of tired of him doing it in the basement in the laundry room.
Oh, dear. Yeah, that doesn't sound nearly as much fun.
One day, I try to come home. It's like, no, don't shoot that quite yet, because that's how I get into the house is through that door. So it's a little dangerous. Like, don't dare come home early, because he might be shooting his arrows down in the laundry room. So,
okay. On that story.
On that note, time to go.
Time to go. I hope you have
Yeah.
a great week, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.